I built the cabins. Yummy Bee planted the corns. Didn't all those other people tell you? Don't get into any drama with Yummy Bee, 'cause you hooked him with your scorn. Now I will eat up all your corn. I'm gonna chase those crazy ballets out of town. Choo, choo, choo. Jugga jug, stabba up, scab, scoop, scabba dip, scab, scuba da ba da ba da da. Good evening from Yummy Bee TV. Before we go live tonight, give you an eye opener on one of the subjects. If you want it, you know, over a long period of time, we've talked about Uncle Yummy being in the Cat A's, being a junglist, all the great names supposedly from that life, that shit life we talk about on Yummy Bee TV. They'd always tell you the same thing. You've got to get up early to get Uncle Yummy, mate. And you who were talking about tonight, you were warned by members of your team, don't get into any conflict with Yummy Bee because he will bury you. And if there's any holes to be found, you know that I'm going to find him. All right? Now, we don't want to bring all that negativity to Yummy Bee TV. Many go, please, Yummy, don't. But what do you want me to do? All people can do out there is badmouth. Yeah, he was a junkie, he was this and that and all that. So was you. But, you know what I mean? You're not bringing any facts to certain things that you're writing books, and many are saying it's more like a Harry Potter book and a Beano comic magazine. 80%. I notice all the phone calls are coming in today telling me to leave you alone. No, I won't be leaving you alone because you showed no mercy for me and you wasn't remorseful for your past. You wasn't remorseful towards me. So I will bring up the things that many people don't really know. So this is your final warning before I go live tonight. Any more from you and all this, and you're just a number of names that are in my things for past enemies, recent ones that I hold things where I think they might be trouble for me. They might do that. I do it the same way as cat behaviour, but I'm not a criminal no more, right? So first things first, right? So cuss me off, go up there and do what you got to do, but you got to expect the backlash too. Your prison behaviour, you was a T-boy in scrubs, right? You've already on record for saying that. And them Heathrow airport robbers, right, alleged robbers, right, who are close to me, are saying that they got evidence that you put them down the block and use your position of hierarchy and abuse of your power being a T-boy, because we know it's the biggest job that you can ever get in prison. We know that you couldn't do bird. We know time because you want to get back out, which we're not going to pull scorn on. That's the best way to do your time. But not abusing your power, right? And also those young ladies that were visiting you as well. And plus we know you haven't got no prison stories because why you behaved for your time in there so that you could get out, right? So the Heathrow lot, they're prepared to come on my show. We'll see how that goes. That's not really important to me. But the other thing was the Albany, the time you spent there, where you said Dave Courtney coming, no, it never took place. The prison officer that comes into the comments, he tells me that the fight he was talking about with somebody else, he said he was there. He said the geezer wasn't even there. Gordon Bennett, mate, another lie amongst most of the things that you've ever spoken about. The other thing I've got to bring up, if they want me to, I'm afraid so. I had to go back into the archives, actress, and we find out that Jimmy Tibbs, I've known a long time. There's other podcasters out there they know as well. I don't want to name them. I don't want to bring them involved in nothing. But Jimmy Tibbs Sr., probably one of the greatest names to ever come out of London. You keep talking about him, but the one thing you haven't let them know is certain family members, they want to sue you for using his name too much, because after all, you only met him 3, 4, possibly 5 times. The one time you went down the gym with him, said you wanted to get it on and train to be a fighter, you went down there, Jimmy Tibbs said, yeah, but you're turning up 3 hours late, mate. I ain't really got time for all that bullshit. You're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. He said, listen, he goes, yeah, but I've been partying all night. Jimmy Tibbs says, listen, mate, I don't give a fuck about partying. You come out of here and don't come back here again. That was your relationship with him. That's why Jimmy Tippett Jr. will be coming on my show. You remember I mentioned it to you a long time ago. But we'll let sleeping dogs lie. That's not the biggest factor in all this. Johnny Bindon, you've got the other girl there that says that he slapped you up. I don't really care about that. They all want to come on my show and bring up their powerful stories that are not just about you, but your name seems to be coming into a lot of things. You brought up Frenchie's name recently. I had to pop a voice note earlier, with permission, of course, where you said that, yeah, Frenchie, again, another lie. Frenchie doesn't doesn't really care who you are. He's not really into it. It's not going to benefit his career or anything. But also the sad thing we find out today is that same man that Kevin you met in the thing that night, that lovable security man who talks nothing but the proper truth. I think he's Frenchie's mate, and he said good things about you. Tries to help, but you called his name in recent times, and he's even turned on you, and you still got angry with him. But all the people that ever tried to help you, all your authors, they're all ringing me saying, please, Jamie, drop it out. You don't know what's getting on. Leave it alone. Yeah, you were warned completely, didn't you? Don't jump into the kitchen if you can't take the fire. It's too much for you. I would be too much for you, which is why we put the wooden horse out, the Helen of Troy trick, to draw you in. I buttered you up. Remember, I told you on that voice note, I warned you. I said to you, listen, don't worry about it. I'm not going to come on a podcast and belittle you or try anything. I love you, Uncle Ray, blah, blah. I was a bit drunk, blah, blah, blah. But I was trying to wean you in for a podcast. We knew it was never going to happen. We know you can't face me because you can't take me. One, you know, sitting in front of me, I might have an ulterior plan, like you might have, like with the stories you came up with. When I put up the story, the Helen of Troy trick, with a wooden horse. Yeah, I never mentioned to you about I was going to put up the story about the Rolex. I put up the story about the Rolex saying that, yeah, I got robbed one time. Them man there that was with me are saying it was him. I didn't know you. I didn't say it was you. I said they said it was you. You jumped on it the next day. I never made you aware that I was putting such a story up. Sorry, people, that I have to play games sometimes. No. It don't really matter to Uncle Yummy. You bit on it and then made up another story, another two stories, which we exposed, which many are exposing you now, especially with some of the stuff I've got here. I mean, you lot are going to be really hurt. You're going to say, please, Uncle Yummy. I'm not, all right? I'll give him one more warning. Yeah, so we exposed you for what we was. We knew you never loved me. We knew by recent videos, you always say one good bit for one bad bit. We're not really interested in that. We know what you're like. I should have listened to my viewers. I didn't. I've already explained that. I came up, made a stand. We set you up, and you found it. So I've got nothing to apologise for. They will come, your little few and the ones that hate me and those that are around you. Oh, yeah, but you both told lies. You don't know we didn't. We done the wooden horse trick to reel you in. Those were the facts. You got on it. You went up there. You pleaded guilty, but really by pleading guilty, you made it worse for yourself. And every time you do a video, you make it even worse for yourself because the public are losing interest in you. The book side of things, the reality is the Mark Potter, the Beano, they said, please, I mean, leave it be. Let it be. But right, look, we're not going to mention that. Because we know why they're phoning me, because they want me to keep my mouth shut. I'm not, right? The other important thing that the visitors, the interviewee prospects we are talking about are Perry Cowlin. My God, the stuff you spoke about him, you spoke about him because you thought he died in a car crash. No. So you thought he weren't alive, but you called him all kind of names. But hold on, Perry Cowlin is well respected from that age group from West London. You was on the door twice with him as well, and you wanted to scandal him like you did with what's his name? Mr. Allen, Pat Tate, Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean. You would have never been able to fight with them men, nor build them up. They can't answer for themselves. I'll answer for everybody tonight if you want to come on the live, right? I don't mean to get everybody going, but you can't come up there, play the big don, and think you're going to tell lie after lie because it seems that nobody has ever been able to verify any of your stories. Many have been able to verify mine. So Perry, I'm thinking of the actor, Perry Cowlin will be coming on my show, mate. He's seriously hurt. He knows you better than anyone. You know the one factor is that you forgot about Big Don. So you call yourself, right, is she was 13, you was 24 years old. I didn't want to bring this to light. But if you want me to, I will bring up all those factors from the horse's mouth. You've got to remember, you cannot play with me on this live. I won't be coming up here talking all the talk I got unless I ain't got all the evidence in front of me. Especially the victims, mate. You're supposed to be making amends in your later life, letting your ego go. You're not no celebrity. Him down in Liverpool, all those people that are right, please, Yabby, please, they're not to know. They've tried to tell him, please, don't get involved with this bit and that. Think about your book. Think about the little life that you had. But please, tell the truth. We could also talk about the geezer that died in the crack house that got his head blown off. You was meant to be bodyguarding him. The geezer got life, mate. But you bumped into him during the life sentence. You made a statement as well, which is interesting, right? But you also withdrew it when the time came for you to go into the box, right? But he still had to do a life sentence, and sadly someone lost their life. We're talking about those ladies as well. The ex-one I was talking about, her father, he had 3 weeks to live on a cancer death destination, but he was after you to the day he died. He was looking for you everywhere for those 3 weeks because he knew he didn't have long to live. Also, that his daughter, he didn't like the way you mistreated her, and he wanted to get you back one last time. I'm just saying allegedly on that score there to cover certain things, right? He come looking for you. I believe he fired a shot after you and you had to run. You knew that if he ever caught you, I would be ashamed to say if that man that they're talking about, if he was after me, I'd be running too. But another example about that life that you led. We also talk about the band singer. We don't want to bring up her name too much, but you did used to bring her in the crack houses. When you used to get your money from the robberies, instead going to Ladbroke Grove in West London, all my lot were there sitting around the table when the geezer got you blown off, as well as bringing your girl in. So last place I want to bring my girl to a crack house. I don't care whether we was partners in crime, whether she could handle it or whatever. You brought her down there. A lot of liberties were taken there, so I don't think they're too fond of you either. Either way, I'm closing out the show now. I'm saving all the rest till later. But absolutely, I'll give you a final warning. Otherwise, I will be printing the receipts. I'm going live in a minute.